Welcome to Jazz Time. JazzTime.com is an online store that buys, sells, trades authentic luxury watches. We make these videos so our customers can easily choose the best watch for themselves in the comfort of their own home. If you like this watch and would like to purchase it at the lowest price anywhere online, click on the link in the description below to buy it at JazzTime.com. Today, I will be reviewing the code 1159 self-winding chronograph reference 26393CR.OO.A008KB.01. in white gold with a rose gold center case and silver dial. I will tell you a little bit about the history of the code, then tell you about where this watch stands in the lineup of other similar codes, then tell you about the case, bezel, dial, bracelet movement, finally try it on and give you my thoughts. So let's start with the history. The code 1159 came about in approximately 2017 to not much fanfare. In fact, it was in some ways ridiculed when it first came out, and probably that's because at the time AP was going through transition. They were getting rid of their jewels, Audemars, and their other non-Royal Oak looking watches, and they were coming up with their first circular watch or at least in the modern times, circular watch for quite some time. All their other watches or collections are the Royal Oak, which is octagonal, the Offshore, which is octagonal, and the Concept, which is octagonal. And they had the jewels, as I just told you, Audemars, which was discontinued, the Millenary, which was an oval shape, which is getting discontinued. They were cutting out all those other fluff or the lines that weren't selling, basically. They could say whatever they want, but basically they weren't selling. That's why they cut the product. And they were replacing with a product that would sell and bringing the AP into 2020 in the right way. And they did actually a spectacular job because the code has since gone on to be a hit. But at first, they had a few road bumps, and, well, it's kind of to be expected for any major rollout of any product. So that's a little bit about the history. And when it first came out, it was on leather. They made the code as a dress watch, and they put them on leather straps. But over time, I would say the next maybe 2-3 years, they realized that putting them on leather straps weren't that popular, and they didn't look. I don't know. It's just people didn't associate AP with that kind of dress watch. It is still a dress watch. It's circular. It can be used as a dress watch, definitely. But people that were buying AP wanted a little bit something more sporty, and so AP realized that, and they just did a very simple change. They changed it to a rubberized canvas strap. So it looks like a canvas, but it's been rubberized. And they changed that strap, and boom, the code really started to take off. And since then, in 2023, that is, AP has started doing a little bit of dial changes, changing the hands around, making it a little bit more legible. And so it's gone through some evolution. And now, actually, the code, I wouldn't say it's a smash hit. It's kind of hard to follow the Royal Oak, but it's definitely a collection that AP is selling a lot of and is doing very well, and rightfully so. I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautifully done. So with that said, let's start talking about the next topic, which is where does this watch stand in the lineup of other similar codes? Well, this is one of the first generation ones created back in 2017 and had a run until approximately 22 or something like that. They're not making this dial configuration anymore. And what is different about it, I'll show you when I talk about the little details of this. But when they were making the original codes in chronographs, they were making them with a silver dial, with a purple dial, blue, a smoke blue, black, and many different variations. Actually, a ton of different variations. And they were changing the mid case as well. The mid case is the part that goes in the middle, and is in this case it's rose gold. They had many different configurations, some with ceramic, some with rose gold, some with all white gold, etc. They all had a lot of variations of it. But they all had the same basic look, which is the hour markers. They look like they look here with no luminescent, thin hands in rose gold or whatever gold, but non-luminescent. And that's basically how it looked. And so these were the first generation ones. The good thing is that even them being the first generation means that they look very similar to the second generation, which has hour markers now that are going to be index instead of, or luminescent instead of gold, but they're going to be a lot cheaper. This watch was retailing at the time, and actually still does, They've actually been changing the retail. They were changing it back and forth many times, but it's settled right around $50,000. But you can buy this one, since it's the older generation, in the 20s. It's quite remarkable. That's right. You could get an AP that's a few years old, of course, used, but you can buy it for a huge discount, like 60% off. And don't forget that $50,000 mark on their website is plus you had to add tax to that. So whatever state you're in, and there's no getting around that. So it's quite a value proposition for someone who wants to buy an older version. It's still a code. It's still an AP. Yes, of course, it's obviously older, but you get quite a big discount. You don't have to pay, $50,000 for it. But anyways, all right. So that's where this watch stands in the lineup. It's part of the first generation codes, if you will, and it's a chronograph. Let's start talking about the watch itself, starting with the case. All right. Now the case is made in white gold. All right. And then, what you'll notice about the case is that it's very well done. One of the best polishing finishes on any watches they make. Why do I say that? Well, if you look at the beveled edge of the case and the hollowed out lugs, you'll notice that takes quite a bit of work. Yes, it actually takes more work to remove gold on the lugs than it does to actually keep gold on the lugs, because you have to polish every part, and you'll notice that the polish is done very well, exquisitely actually. And there's no bezel to this watch, which means that the glass goes all the way to the edge, or the dial goes all the way to the edge. And I actually heard the CEO say that the reason is because he wants to keep it modern. Watches now, or phones nowadays, for example, do not have bezels. The screen goes to the edge, and he wanted to make the watch like that. Pretty cool. And AP is a very forward-looking company, unlike some other companies that do very traditional things, which is not a bad thing either, but still, like Patek. AP is very forward-looking, so they want to make it basically with no bezel. It's the thinnest bezel you could imagine. And the case has these hollowed-out case. And also, if you look at the case, what really stands out, which keeps the DNA of this watch, is the center case has this octagonal mid case. And it's done, by the way, in rose gold to match the hands. So it's rose gold. I really think that's quite a beautiful way to present this watch, because it maintains the DNA of AP, which is this octagonal shape. If you look at the mid case, it's not actually circular, it's octagonal. So it kind of looks like a royal oak smashed between a circular watch. Very, very nice touch. Okay, that's the case. It's 41 millimeters in size and 12.6 millimeters in thickness. It's pretty much the perfect dimensions. Pretty much will fit everybody. It's a great size for this watch. All right, I should also mention that, okay, I guess that's it. Let's talk about the dial. The dial here is a silver lacquered dial. Lacquered means paint. They paint the paint of this. It's actually gray. They call it gray, but it looks silver gray, whatever. And it has a sunburst pattern. What that means is that it's a very common pattern. You do this sunburst pattern, which means in the center it radiates out toward to the edges. And it has this pink gold applied hour markers to match the middle case. Very nice. But it does not have, by the way, luminescence. So that's why I'm saying the newer generations do have luminescence, but they cost a lot more money. This is a lot cheaper, and it matches the case very well. So, all right, that's the dial. Let's look at the bracelet. Now the bracelets can easily be changed. As I said, they had these ones on alligator. What you see here is on alligator, gray alligator. It kind of depends on what you want, right? I mean, if you want to make it dressy, you put on alligator. If you want to make it more sporty, AP also sells a gray rubber coated strap, which means it's rubber, but it's coated to look like canvas. And the reason they do that is because if you actually make it canvas, when it goes in the water, it kind of unthreads itself, or it starts to look really unsightly. And actually other brands have done the same thing. Richard Mille, for example, instead of doing a cloth or canvas strap like they did previously, they now make a canvas strap that is made of rubber to look like canvas. So it's no surprise that they do that. And actually even Patek does that on some of their watches. They make a rubber strap that looks like a calf strap. Okay, anyways, the point being, you can change the strap. The gray on gray looks fantastic, and there you have it. Okay, now let's talk about trying this watch on my, the movement. The movement is the new movement of 4401. Actually, AP first put these movements in their codes when they first developed them back in 2017. They put these, it's an integrated chronograph, by the way. Before they had a modular chronograph, which means they had a movement, they tacked on a chronograph unit, and it had all sorts of problems, an incredible amount of problems. So many problems that they decided to make an in-house integrated chronograph, which no longer has that problem. It's a caliber 4401, has 381 parts, and it's a power of 70 hours. Very nice movement, beautiful, on par with any other top watchmaker such as Patek or Vacheron or whoever. It just looks fantastic. Okay, that's the movement. Time to try this watch on my wrist. I'm 6 foot tall, 200 pounds. I have a 7.5 inch wrist. I could recommend this for anybody, actually, even with a 6.5 inch wrist. Even though it's 41, it being on this strap makes it so that it fits a lot of people. Unlike, for example, the Royal Oak, which kind of flares out. You need at least a 7-inch wrist to wear that if it's 41 millimeters. But in the way that's configured here, you could have a small wrist and still wear this. The code, I predicted back when I saw this watch back in like when it started, people started placing orders for it back, before 2020. I predicted that this watch would be a smash hit, even though everyone was taking a shit on it. But I was saying, no, this watch is going to do great because it's beautifully done. The hour markers, the case, the mid case, everything just looks fantastic. The finishing, it's superb. And now I'm right, because it is a smash hit. Not a smash hit, but it's definitely, the Royal Oak is a smash hit. The code is definitely a hit. So what are my thoughts? It's just a great watch, and buying a first generation is going to save you a lot of money. So I'm definitely going to give it 2 thumbs up. And look, if you want to buy it, go to jazztime.com to buy it at the lowest price anywhere online.
If you want to find out more about the watch you just saw in the video, you can just click below on Show More to see the full description. Then you can check the link next to model as seen in video, click on it, and you will get to the proper page where you can see all the details. If you're watching on a mobile phone, you have to click on the arrow down on the right hand side below the video to see the full description. If you like this video, please give us a thumbs up. If you would like to share this video with your friends, you can use the share button below and share it on any platform you like. If you have questions, constructive feedback, want to tell us about some mistakes or misspeaks, just write a comment below. If you want to see more videos like this, you should subscribe to our channel and visit our channel page where you can find all the videos. And if you're interested in a specific watch brand, you can check out our playlists. If you want to check the price for a watch or want to buy one, remember at jazztime.com you always get a steep discount, so you should check the prices with us. If you want to know the price for a specific watch, just go to Google, type in JazzTime, plus the brand, model, and the details you're interested in, and Google will find the right page for you. Thank you for watching.